Hey, so I'm standing outside of the apartment I've been staying in with my daughter in New York City, and it is so much fun. I just wanted you to see this cute neighborhood that we're in. Isn't that cool? So, and here's the doorway to our place. It's all festive with Christmas wreaths still. Um, so it just got me thinking, this morning I was thinking, what could I talk about for Simply Me Saturday? And I was just thinking about our few days here and all of the things that I've been able to do that have just been so exciting for me and so much fun. So I had been given the challenge on a training that I'm in when they discovered that I was coming to New York with my family, or with my daughter actually, and our assignment was to look for little moments, to find the stories in our lives and to use that to stay present, and also just to well, it was a speaker's training, so to find ways to enhance the way we speak by sharing stories and being able to relate those to different things that we're speaking about. And the challenge for me, they asked us to share maybe some of the things we might do to be present and to look for stories, and I told them about this trip that I was taking with my daughter. We've come to New York together several times for auditions and other things, and I've done that individually with most of my kids. I still have two that I haven't come alone with, but I've been with all of them so far. But anyway, there have been two of my daughters that are dancers that we've come together and had a really great time just being the two of us together. And then I brought my oldest son one time, same thing. He brought his friend and it was a good time. Anyway, I realized as I was doing those before, I was going as mom, which it was still fun. I wasn't showing up necessarily as just me as a person, and since my daughter is an adult now and we're not here for auditions, we're just here for a chance to spend time together. I mentioned on the training that my challenge, I think, was to show up as me instead of as mom, which they're the same thing, and at the same time they're separated. I was not coming so much to facilitate all of what she wanted to do, but just to be able to have a good time together with her and let her to see a little bit more of who I am. And not having done that a lot, it was a little bit scary for me first, for some reason. Maybe you understand if you're a mom with adult kids. Anyway, so as I was thinking, what are some of the things, the challenge I received was to do some of the things that I like to do and to invite her to do them. We already were going to do things together that she liked to do. And honestly, a lot of the things she likes to do are the things that I like to do. I love to go to musicals, and so does she. And that's usually what we do here. And just to be in the city. We both really have a good time here in the city. So I was trying to figure out what would be something that I would like to do that would be something I would have to ask her to join me in and to have fun. Because I didn't really know. I couldn't really think of anything tangible because I really hadn't done anything for just me while I was here. And so I was pondering on that, and I was booking the trip and realized I had forgotten to book the hotel, and we were going to be here during the week between Christmas and New Year's, which is the busiest time of year in New York City. I realized, oh my goodness, I am going to have a hard time finding a hotel. And we always stay on Times Square because it's what we know and it's close to everything, and it's a little bit comfortable to be somewhere where you are familiar with. And those are the hotels that get really expensive during this time of year, or they're just not available, they're full. So I was looking and I was wondering what I was going to do, and then I had this remembering that one thing that I've always wanted to do and that I love to do when I travel, I like to feel like I actually am a part of the culture. I like to feel like, imagine what it would be like to actually live in the city instead of just being a tourist. I don't really, I do enjoy touring, don't get me wrong. I love learning about new places, and touring is the way to get familiar. I've been here enough times though that I was thinking, I'm ready to get out of the tourist stage, I guess, and maybe experience New York City more as if I lived here. And so we decided to rent an apartment, and it's quite a ways away from Times Square, which is where we're used to. So we're here in this little neighborhood in Brooklyn, and the the experience has been so much fun. I mean, we haven't done a ton as far as, you know, local wise. We've done a lot of commuting to Times Square to see the shows and things like that, which has been fun, but we've had to figure out how to get there. We've gone to local markets. We've talked to some of the neighbors here. We've had a couple of neighbors that have helped us. There was one, the first night actually we couldn't get the door open on the apartment, and so the neighbor came out and we had to ask him for help, and he was very nice. And just this morning coming down the stairs, I met some people who actually speak Spanish coming up the stairs, so I was able to speak to them for a minute in Spanish, and just being able to commute and just feel a little bit more what it would be like to live here. It's interesting that I texted the owner of the apartment because it was kind of hot, and I don't get hot very often, but the radiator had been going quite extensively, and you know, being on the top floor, the heat was rising and it just felt stuffy and hot, and so I asked him if there was a thermostat, and he just laughed at me and he's all, "You're in New York, the thermostat is the window." And that to me was it was so much fun. I was like, that is awesome. So we opened the window, we got some fresh air. The other thing, which I showed on a video earlier, is that we're sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Not saying that that's, you know, what it's like to live here, to sleep on a mattress on the floor, but I do know it's really expensive. Cost of living is high. The man that we are renting from has a son, and the son, I believe, has the bed, and the bedroom door was locked. The son wanted his room and his toys to be protected, which we respect, and I think that the father sleeps on the floor, and so we're there sleeping. I mean, it's a mattress on the floor, but we're sleeping on the floor there, and it's a tiny apartment, you know, and the light switches are crazy, and the faucets are clogged, and sometimes, anyway, but it's been really clean, it's been really fun, and I've been having an amazing time. So that's a little bit about me, simply me, getting into the culture and like feeling a little bit more of the experience of what it's like to be here. That's honestly something that I've wanted to do for most of my life, is just to kind of go and live in different places or spend extended amount of time and just to get to know what it's like to be a part of that culture. Culture makes me so excited. And that, my friends, is a little bit more of Simply Me. Thank you for listening. I will talk to you next week. Bye.